And after this inspiring talk, I would like to invite to the stage Moran Haviv. Moran is the Director of Strategic Innovation at the CTO office in Microsoft R&D Center in Israel. She represents Microsoft's Climate Innovation Fund of 1 billion. Yes, in climate adaptation, and she will speak on how AI can become the sustainability accelerator we need for cutting carbon emission in one half for 2030. Moran, please come to the stage, everybody.
Hi everyone, how are you? So, unfortunately, Ayelet is working in Google and I work in Microsoft, as you can understand, so we couldn't check, and some of my slides will seem familiar, so I'll try to go very fast on them, although I'm happy to say that what I'm going to speak about today is more about in order to inspire you to use AI in order to open your own research, in order to open your own startup, in order to join a startup, because we need more innovation in AI, leveraging AI in a climate and sustainability. This is also what my team in the CTO office is doing here in Microsoft, but it's not enough. It's not enough what we have in the world, and we have till 2030 to actually cut the carbon emission by 50% if we want to arrive to 2 degrees, like higher than what we have today, which is already speaking about 3 billion people being affected, majorly affected by that. So thank you. So I don't need to explain because I'm happy that at least we have a different, but that's what we see today. It's not even what's going to be in the future. Obviously, in the future, we do predict that this is going to grow, but the number of times and the strength and the severity. But you all know it today. Every year, it's hotter than the last year. Every year, we have the wildest wildfire out there, more and more floods, and this is a problem not only for us, by the way, humankind, but it's also a problem for this entire Earth and other living creatures here. And we like to say and call it that this is a planet-sized challenge. There is no one company, no one government that's going to solve for that. Have to be all of us together actually making this happen. It's correct also in Israel today, I know, but we need it also for the world and not only locally. And by 2030, as I said, we need to cut carbon emission by 50%. Does anyone here knows when there was a corona, we were all at homes, no flights, no hotels. Does anyone here knows how much the carbon emission was cut there? And only also for a few months? 5. Well, I know about 5, but it's the same, 2, 5. So when we're speaking about 50% cut, you all understand that it's enormous, right? Like you've seen, we are all being in lockdown, and it still was only 2 to 5%. We need to, why it's not going? What happened? Oh, we need to have multiple 30 carbon removal capacity. Does anyone here doesn't know what carbon removal means? Carbon removal is basically we need to remove carbon from the air because there's so much too much carbon dioxide in the air, and we need to remove some of it. It's not enough just to reduce what we are emitting now. We actually need to remove it. There's a lot of technologies that, well, we all know trees, obviously. I'm sure that you know that the ocean is do that as well. Also land, it's not enough. We have more and more new technologies to actually remove that from the air, and we need 30 times more than what we have today by 2030. By 2050, we need 1,000 times, okay? This is huge. We also need loss of biodiversity must be halted and actually reversed. by 2030. We don't really, well, we have guesses how many species a day are disappearing. You can all imagine that this is, first of all, it's a guess, and every time the scientists are just increasing the number of, how much is actually being lost. And I don't know why okay. So we need to rapidly change what is working today. We need to totally shift into carbon, like our carbon-intensive economy, and move to low-carbon economy. And it's going to be very, very, very difficult. We have 6 years. 6 years to go to 2030. I don't think that in 6 years we are going to change the entire electricity market, the entire energy market, the entire cars market, even flights. I wish, but I don't think that we are going to have all our airplanes going on low carbon gases and oil by 2030. And we need a way to find a way to do it. And part of what I'm going to say now is that I think that AI can assist us. I'm not going to stand here and to say this is a silver bullet that's going to save the world, but I think that AI is a central tool to accelerate sustainability. First of all, because AI accelerating things. And this is one of the good things about AI, that it can accelerate things. We'll speak a little bit about processes that it can accelerate and why we believe that this can make a big change. But we need all of us to be in that. So what are the bottlenecks that AI can address? First of all is slow development of new materials. As we said, we need new materials, that we need new cement, we need new iron and, new cement, new iron, we need new constructions materials that doesn't require so much energy in order to actually produce them. And I don't know if you know, we will talk about it in a minute, how long it takes to develop new material, right? The second one is the complexity of the systems, right? Our systems, if you look on supply chain, if you look on climate systems that we need to monitor in order to better understand how energy is going to work, if we're depending on energy coming from a wind or coming from the sun. Those are very, very complex systems, and AI is very good in order to take this complexity and sort it out, right? And find patterns, find anomalies, and be able to predict things. And we need skilled workflow. This is always surprising people because we don't have enough skilled workforce, to actually be able to take all the new energy, to take all the new materials, to take all the new processes, and make the processes more efficient in industries and in other places, right? So I'm going to speak a little bit of how on each one of them. So let's take about new materials. It can take 10 years and 10 million to 100 million to discover one new material. I just spoke about so many materials that we need till 2030 and actually cut our carbon emission, right, by 30%. So I want to tell you about something very interesting that we did in Seattle. We're working with the US government, with the Energy Ministry, and also with the Seattle University in order to leverage AI to find new materials for lithium, to replace lithium. Lithium is one of the materials that we need for storage for energy. If we want to use more renewable energy, we need more storage. And lithium is expensive. We don't have enough of it. And we need to find a new material for that in order to enable more storage. So what we did is we worked with the university and with the energy ministry. And in 8 weeks, we managed to sort out, with AI obviously, more than 300 million materials, find 50 that can actually become the replacement of lithium, and have 8 POCs in the lab, right? 8 of those materials to actually check that this is actually working. So this is a huge acceleration. Think about what I just said about 10 years, how much money, And we just did it for 5 materials in less than 8 weeks. Okay, so that's why I believe that if we will start and use this, this is a very strong power. We also can accelerate scientific research. So let's talk about seeds. By 2040, global food production needs to be higher in 50%, and the emission need to cut to zero, right? Because in 2050, we want to be in net zero economy. So how can we do that? We have to have new type of seeds. We have to have new type of way to grow our food. And one of the things that we are doing with Bayer, which is one of the biggest seeds supplier out there, is actually developing new type of seed with AI. Today, new crops take 7 to 12 years to develop, right? We need to cut this. And this is what we are doing with them in order to do it. We already have, I don't remember for which type of crop, but I don't remember if it's corn or something else, sorry for that. But we already have one being done and already being tested in a few months. Okay, we need more of this, of course. We need also more companies to invest in this. But it just to explain to you how AI can actually accelerate a lot of the scientific research and get us to where we want to go. So I don't think that I have enough time, but I think that also I talk a lot about how AI can actually help researchers to accelerate things, a lot with analyzing massive data sets, right, and generate test hypotheses, and only then let us go and check it out. Instead of like having the lab, the wet lab, being done each of the things that we're thinking about. Optimization of complex systems. Supply chain, energy, all of those are very, very complex, and we need to change them all if we want to reduce the carbon emission. So let's take energy, for example. Energy, if you don't know, is responsible for more than 73% of the carbon emitted, also of methane. So let's say 75% of the greenhouse gas. And one of the things that we can do is real-time analysis, right? We want to have a real-time analysis of weather, of usage, to predict supply and demand, and AI can do that very, very, very good. Second, we need to predict supply and demand, and third is automatic control of being able to storage and automate the entire process. Because one of the things with renewable energy that it's not a constant supply of energy, and we need to make sure that we can assist that and manage that very, very quickly. We can monitor health of the planet's ecosystem. I think I spoke a lot about it, so I'm not going to talk about it more, but it's very important because otherwise we will not know that we are progressing. If we cannot monitor how much carbon is being actually removed, what's going on with the biodiversity, where is the carbon that we just removed, is it still in Earth or is it still in the ocean as we thought, and many other things. We need this in a very high resolution, and one of the things that AI can give us with satellites and with other ways of sensing the sensorial data, we can actually monitor the health of the planet and make sure that we're progressing rightly. Accelerating skilling process. So as I said before, if I remember the number correctly, we are missing more than 300,000 employees in sustainability now. In 2030, it's going to be a lot more, obviously, and we need a very skilled and knowledgeable workforce for this. So think about ChatGPT. I'm sure that most of you are actually, for me, this is my new personal assistant for work. There is no one email that I don't write with it. I always consult with him, not always believing, but at least I'm always, speaking with the co-pilot to better understand. And think about it. You are new into your new industry. You're not sure about something. It's always there. It can be there on visual things that, on visual, on video. It can be there on things that you want to ask. it can be very easy. It can provide you also personalized training on when you are right now on the cases that we need. And we believe that this is a big push that we need to put there. So I have 1 minute, I think. So I just want to finish with saying that Microsoft has committed to be carbon negative, water positive, and zero waste by 2030. Those are very, very ambitious goals. We are very proud of it. By 2025, we're supposed to be also 100% on a renewable energy, which you all can imagine that now with AI, data centers are even increasing their need of energy, and we are still very persistent to be there next year, and we are doing what is needed because we think that AI is here to stay, and we need to make sure that AI, first of all, is sustainable. When we're speaking about responsible AI, we're speaking about sustainable AI, but also to harness AI in order to make sure that we are making the change that we need to make for 2030. I want to invite you to leverage AI, join Ayelet, join me. And we need to be there in 2030. Thank you. Questions? No?
Yeah. Also join Tel Aviv University. We're doing AI research here as well.
Okay. Perfect.
Questions, please. Yes, you, sir.
That's why? Yes, yes. Okay, so I'm sorry, I don't know your name, but Leo. So Leo was asking, he says that he read in Bill Gates' book that around 2030 or 2050, we might not be able to arrive to where we want to arrive, and then there's going to be a huge eruption of volcano, like, by the way, we had in the dinosaur time and area, that it's going, that we can use eruption. Okay, so in order to cool the Earth, right, because this is what actually happened in the dinosaur time. By the way, back then, we arrived into the Ice Age. So just to explain that when you were saying something like that, there is also... So first of all, yeah, back then we arrived like the dinosaurs was extended, yes, and also we arrived to the Ice Age. But also I would say that there are researchers and some startups as well that are trying to find polymers that we will put on, on the sky in order to cool the planet. It's just that it's climate is a very complex system, and we need to try and play with it less. We are seeing right now there's a lot of changes happening just because, less ice is being melted, or the water are less cold in the sea. And already there are so many changes that none of the research thought it's going to happen. So do something like that can change so much in our climate that I think that we should try to not get there. I hope it answered. Well, this is my opinion, right? There are others that might say, at least we have plan B. Okay.
Are there any other questions?
Yes, of course. You mean for Microsoft? Yeah. So Microsoft is... Yeah, that's true. And that's why I said that we are putting a lot of efforts in making AI sustainable. And part of it, by the way, is by assisting areas like Asia, where in Japan and in Korea, where most of our chips are actually being produced, because over there's a lot of water and a lot of energy needed for those chips, in order to make this a renewable and more sustainable energy. Of course, we are looking scope 3, the entire supply chain. Thank you. Join me. Join Ayelet.